Hello and welcome everybody, I'm Proper Baron, and this is of course Crusader Kings 3, and today we are here back with our beloved Duchess Elisabeth of Bascon-Jaco, a hero, the protector of the realm, and the protector of her very own family, even in times of struggle and strife. She has had a life, I would say, where there was a lot of drama, a lot of trouble that wasn't instigated by her, surprisingly. Commonly, when our characters find themselves in trouble, they are the ones that started it. But she has been an outstanding and virtuous ruler. Yes, of course, you know, she has doubts every now and again. Yes, of course, she has difficulties every now and again. But the fact that we now see her standing in front of us, not in her chainmail, not in, you know, the role of I must protect the realm immediately or it might fall into complete disarray, that is her achievement. She made that happen. It has to be pointed out that indeed it was her decision to fight both the Italian city-states, but also to fight her family in the name of her king and the realm. Duchess Elisabeth VS, no matter how we look at it, I think has deserved or is deserving of some relaxation. And so with that, we are now of course in our civilian outfit. We are still very much in love with Duke Adalberto II, and we are looking at a peaceful realm. Now I assume that there will be, you know, maybe a bit more agitation. I'm not sure how likely we are to get involved with that. I think unless it is a major crisis, Duchess Elisabeth has seen enough of the battlefield for the moment, unless it really and truly would be her duty to act. Now, as we were supporting the king, both in Italy and then also against our nephew and brother in that Liberty Revolt, we actually became friends. So I checked this out and I saw that they became friends, and it appears that they became friends in 1021, which was just 3 years back. So basically, I believe this is when we joined his war against the Liberty faction, and when you join a faction war, just by saying, hey, let me do this, you definitely do grow closer to form a positive relationship with them. In this case, it is a friendship. And I think this is really nice. If you look at our friends, you will see that we are befriended, of course, with Duke Bermudo. We are friends with King Asna II, with Duke Gerard IV of Auvergne, despite our initial difficulties, and with Duke Vea II Suaré. When you really take a long look at this, you will see that the entirety of core Aquitaine, essentially it all comes back together at Elisabeth. Because of course she's also married to Provence, ultimately putting us in a position where if there are any disputes, Duchess Elisabeth will be there and she will try to solve them before they become a major issue. Now I gotta tell you, this is exciting because it is an incredibly stabilizing role that we are playing without being queen, without being this central authority. Let's hope that it lasts, though, because I am not really willing to throw more manpower at the wars of the realm. Either way, let's just take a look at this real quick. I will definitely repair the Vasconia mail. You know what, let's just do this right now, just 38 bucks. I think that should be fine. The lockpick will go to our brother, or our nephew, so I don't really care about that. And then the calipers, I think I'll just keep them where they are for the moment. Powerful vassals expect a council position. Count Pierre, he is a good fighter. He has served in our campaigns as well. Oh, we can actually make him the... yeah, I'm going to make him the spy master here for sure. Count Pierre, you are tasked with this. We could declare some wars, it seems. Yeah, no, we don't have the taste for warfare right now. Now, Lope is unmarried. He is the son of Mechipsa that is actually Catholic. Lope, what do we do with you? I could marry you to Infanta Leodegundia. She doesn't have any children. It is a marriage to Navarra. You know, why not? I mean, what are the odds of this going sideways? It is a pretty okay marriage, I would say. He actually is slow and handsome. By the way, yeah, this is an acceptable marriage. Now, for Martin, I'm not so sure. I think Martin should go his own way. Again, it just comes down to him being Muslim, which is kind of odd, offering a Muslim faithful to one of the many folks here that are Christians and are marrying into him because they know that, you know, he's related to a Christian. It doesn't really make sense, realistically speaking, so let's not do that. And I will, of course, be educating Elisabeth. How could I not? Yeah, that is a good idea. Our heir is in line to inherit the titles of our husband. That makes a lot of sense. We can read some of the biographies here. I don't care for Jocelyn. I do care for X. I looked at this off camera, and I really want you to take note of how depressing X's life really was. I mean, he did his best. He was, of course, you know, working for Sheikh Ali here, but, man, he became friends with Gomez and Fierhun. Gomez and Fierhun died in a matter of just a decade or so. He became addicted to hashish. You can see this is actually a direct consequence because of the stress break that he took He gained a rival. I'm not entirely sure what that is. It seems bugged. Maybe the character's removed. Who knows? He lost his mother. Yet another stress break right here. He lost his father. He gained a friend. And then he lost his brother. He lost his brother. He lost his brother. It's a tough life for X. And he didn't really give it to anybody. He just suffered. Let's just keep that in mind. When we take a look at the successful, person that Elisabeth has become, she has walked over, I would say, a multitude of corpses, and that is definitely a difficult time for all of the people that are surrounding her, because all of them, of course, have personal relationships as well. I'm not going to imprison anybody here, and I'm not going to sell Ramiro. I will simply release him. Absolutely. Get out of here, kid. Have a good life. Now, with that being said, I brought this up way back that I can actually invite people now. I can invite people to activities because we have the Flatterer trait, and I modded that in. I would like, I think. So I think if I do hold a feast, my husband will always be there. But the way I see this, I think I don't want to hold a feast with somebody else. I would like to invite Dugvea II, because he was the rebel leader. And I would like to show him a different time that you can, basically work together and make things happen. Oh, I can't do it right now, right, because he's considering the offer to give him the artifact. I would like to invite him to a hunt. We can work together, we can achieve something, and maybe he will learn that cooperation is better than rebelling against the king. Let's unpause and see where things go. He agrees to the marriage, very, very nice. And what do we have here? We have a war between King Asna III and Count Gilles. Asna wants to punish Count Gilles, understandably, of course. So yeah, moving against Count Gilles. I don't really have anything to say in favor of him. We have never been in favor of that part of our family. Oh yeah, and one thing that I want to do as well, I will get a claim on Corsine. Because the way we see this here, the way we understand this is, my judgment of the Gellonus family is banishment from Aquitaine. They may live in Iberia. Count Foncé and Count Jocelyn can keep their holdings there, but we will oust them from Aquitaine so that they can't do any harm to this Aquitainian family. Anyway, let's invite him right here. He's in an army. Oh, right, he is serving. They're all serving, aren't they? Yeah. Look at them, wow. They're all serving. My husband isn't. You know what? Husband, I'll invite you to a feast. Sure, let's do it. He has accepted our feast proposal. Of course he has. Now I have to assume not too many people can show up because they're serving. It's mostly just my vassals, basically. Philippe declined. Despite being gregarious, what happened there? Is he serving? At your court in Modena. That is not my court. Is that where the army was when we dissolved it? Maybe. Maybe it is. I'm actually not quite sure what exactly happened there. I don't think my army was over there. Feast, a cheery gathering. The guests are gathered in the great hall, lords and ladies from the near and far reaches of the realm. Their mood is bright and spirits are high as the feast begins. Let's go. As the feast is underway and our guests are eating and drinking merrily, Mayor Garcia approaches Alberto and me at the great table. This is a marvelous feast. All my compliments to the hosts. Man, Duke Adalberto, of course I will say Duke Adalberto did this. He is my great husband and he worked so hard to pull this off despite being ill. That is exactly right. Honestly, my husband and me, I think we are a great story. Oh, look at that. We have actually become friends. We are basically friends with the entire realm that is, core Aquitaine. Disaster strikes. Okay. Well, I mean, obviously, we all have to pitch in. My apologies, folks, but we all have to pitch in. And then the guests leave, and it was a truly great occasion. What I want to do next is, I will definitely be paying homage. Is he currently at home? The war's raging, but he is obviously not participating. He is merely 16 years old. He has become a grey eminence. Zealous, ambitious, and gluttonous. Man, these are some good traits for somebody that wants to potentially become the Emperor of the Romans. I will definitely pay him homage, and I know for his difficult position as far as finances are concerned, so I will give him some gifts. 75 bucks and 100 prestige. I think that is fine if it is for the realm. Servants usher me into King Asna III's great hall in Carcassonne, where he sits in his throne waiting to hear my pledge. I kneel at the feet of my lord and pledge the many oaths of homage, as his scribes record the event. My attendants then follow, presenting my rich gifts to the king before the assembled court. Asna bids me to arise and confirms his satisfaction, along with my rights to rule the lands I rule in his stead. The price of fealty. It is a welcome one, if it does help the family as much as this one did. You know what I'm thinking? As soon as we have enough money, we will probably be going on a hunt, right? Oh, and here we have Suero come of age. He has become a pretty good fortune builder. A pretty good character, I think, all around. Not great, but pretty decent. And he also, of course, needs to marry. You know, since he's the second born, I'm gonna be fairly lenient with him. I will marry him as soon as he is 24. If at any point before that he takes interest in somebody, and interesting that Martin would be his friend, if he takes interest in anybody, I think we might try to marry them. But until then, until he's 24, he can just enjoy the life as a bachelor. We don't really need any sort of alliance here. It is a topic that we are definitely very, very lenient, or that we can be very lenient about. Now, with that being said, why don't we actually host a grand rite? As I said, we are now in relaxation, and that also means reconnecting to the spirituality of the family. Let the rite begin. Oh, and look at that, attending Duchess Elizabeth and Bermuda. Is it only the two of us? Are only the two of us attending for this grand rite? As my fellow witches arrive in Bayona, I catch a glimpse of an unfamiliar face. When I go greet my brother and friend Duke Bermudo, he introduces the strange man as Asna. They are old acquaintances, as it turns out, and Bermudo asks if Asna may join our rite. You know what? He will be my guest of honor. No, you know what? I will just say the more the merrier. I think it is completely fine. A local is coming with us here. You need to let me actually take a look at this, though. Wow, it's actually only the three of us. Where are my sons? I am 90% certain that my sons are indeed witches, right? Yeah, Philippe. Huh. How did they not show up? Either way, the full moon rises. As the moon rises in the heavens, heralding his arrival, I can feel my body responding to the strange energies in the air. The silhouettes around the great bonfire are silent, unmoving. What will we do? I would definitely... See, the interesting part is, because we have been very faithful to our husband, it never really played a role, but if you remember, there were attempts to seduce and romance us several times. I think we are a person that is leaving an impression, I think, on people that might be attracted to us, so relying on our charisma here might actually make some sense. It might also be very much in character. She is a person that would like to simply speak, you know, from her heart, and this is exactly what we're doing here, so let's just... do this choice. Grand Rite, the full moon rises. As I lead the crowd through the ceremony, I carefully study their reactions and adjust my words accordingly. Before too long, I am riding on a wave of their excitement, passionate cheers fueling me as I build towards a magnificent crescendo. We reach it together, howling his name at the moon as one. Now that the main ceremony is finished, my guests and I are free to worship as it pleases us. We're definitely not doing this. We are also doing this actually in a way where our husband doesn't know about this side of ours. We haven't told him, we haven't revealed this to him at all. So I'm definitely not going to take care of my carnal pleasures here, or my carnal desires here. We're just going to ignore this. No. I could spend time with Asna. We could theoretically gain a rival here, interestingly enough. Or I could just enjoy the time here. Ask Bermuda to instruct me in the art of commerce. You know what? We are focused on just our realm, you know, living in our region and being a good lady. I will definitely, yeah, sure. I will ask him to teach me something about commerce, and with that in mind... I'm thinking, actually, that we might want to go... See, if we ever focus on stewardship again, we might want to go towards administrator, but we are still... I do like the family hierarch focus right there, so why don't we just focus on Heregeld? Vassal tax contribution goes up. We don't have many vassals, but, you know, it's better than nothing. And there the grand rite is over. And it was a pretty good grand rite. I think that she feels very well connected now with herself, with her ancestors, with spirituality. I think she's a big fan of how life turned out after the war. Of course, they are still sieging Carnif, but that is not my concern. What is happening? Well, we do not yet know who. Someone is plotting against my son and heir. They want to fabricate a hook on him. That is very curious. We must stop the villain behind this. I am very curious what that could be. She's awful, truly awful at plotting. So she doesn't want to get involved in this, but nonetheless. Yeah, I mean, that is a difficult thing. And he did imprison Count Gilles now. Count Gilles was immediately released. I wonder what the terms were. I really wish I could tell, but yeah, sadly we don't know. And you know what? Another interesting thing, of course, is that in a way... the dominance of Aquitaine, both over Aquitaine itself, but also over Italy and such, really led to the degeneration of our family's skills to talk several languages. Duchess Elizabeth didn't value learning any other language because all of her vassals speak Basque, all of the people living in her realm spoke Basque for most of the time. The court that she has participated in always spoke Basque, And with that, she basically ignored that. She didn't teach any of her children, you know, learning different languages either. But now that I'm thinking about it, with Elisabeth, since Elisabeth herself is a bit older, and since she has 2 sons that will take care of her duties, you know, once she's no more on planet Earth, I am thinking maybe she's going to be a bit different in the upbringing of Elisabeth here. I could have her study a language. The question is just which language. We could definitely, I think this is not a bad idea, Iberian Vulgar. Infanta Leodegundia is a welcome member of the court. Alternatively, we have Andalusian here. Is this Arabic? Yeah, it's Arabic. No, Arabic I don't think makes a lot of sense. We could do Occitan. I mean, that is always a good choice, especially in these lands. Oh, but you know what is actually the most reasonable one, I think? I think we should learn Doc Vulgar? Do you speak Doc Vulgar? What do the Catalans speak? It is Doc Vulgar. So we do have, of course, connections right here into Iberian Vulgar, but since we are ruling over Aragonese and Catalan subjects, I think we might just do some journeys, basically. Some travels here into our territories to take care, to check out the new belongings that are underneath us, and Elisabeth ought to learn the language of those folks. Indeed, Count Francais of Palas, I would like you to give us some impression of that language, and yeah, I like that idea. I think that is pretty neat, but other than that, she herself, I think she's too old. She doesn't care to learn the language of somebody that might as well just speak Basque to her, right? Oh, and look at that, Lope already has a child with Infanta Leodegundia, and the child appears to be inheriting both of his traits, the positive and the negative one, and he named it. That is so cute. He named his child Michipsa, his firstborn, named after his honorable and sadly deceased father. May he grow strong and wise indeed. Now, heart of the family, I mean, this is just the perfect trait. What do you want me to say? I gotta say, family hierarchy is perfect for her. What else is coming up here? Thicker than water, friendly counsel. Each of your friend relations gives you 2 random skill points. That is crazy good. Sound foundations. Each living child gives you 1 random skill point. Right. Yeah, if she became a matriarch, yeah, I think it's too late for her to actually fill out this tree, but if she did, it would be very much in character. But speaking of friendly plots, you know, I'm thinking now, first of all, obviously I can challenge people to board games, but we might actually want to... You are technically speaking a family member, right? I could simply attempt to befriend you as well to further signify that, you know, we are, of course, the central focal point of this region here. Wieden, I mean, he's still in prison, and I think that is where he belongs. We have a pretty good alliance here. We could also actually talk to Guyenne, although he does not appreciate us one bit. I will try to become his friend. Sure, why wouldn't I, right? I will attempt to befriend him, and then I will send a poem to Duke Vea II. Since he couldn't join us during the hunt or the feast, I will send him a poem that is about the topic of strife. The poem should be lauded here, hopefully. I want to write to him about the topic of strife because I want him to understand that struggle can only bring demise, especially if it is within one family. He apparently got the message. I'm a big fan of this. Now, in this event, what's happening? All in time, my daughter Elisabeth has been impressed with one of the household knights for a very long time. After finally meeting in person, she has been repeating the warrior's words to herself. Greatness comes in time. Be there to grasp it when it does. Yeah, no. I honestly find it remarkable just how little Elisabeth sees the value in directly intervening in the natural behavior of her children. In general, we just pick the first option so that they keep the trait because we say, yeah, opportunities always come in time. She definitely feels that way. You know, obviously she's... Oh, wait a minute. Did we just, Oh, no, okay. I thought we actually became friends or something. What is this? My last chance. Wait, Ebba wants to leave. She will leave my court. You realize you're married to him, right? Is it because he's in Dam Modena? Ah, it is because he's in Dam Modena, isn't it? So, what is this? The County of Montargis. I'm not gonna push that claim, Ebba. And you are mad to think that I will. She left my court. Alright, game. Are these kids still with me? Yeah, they are still in La Podie. There's clearly something about the placements here that is a bit off. Well, anyway, you know what? Let's just enjoy going on a hunt. Absolutely. Let's just enjoy being alive. The noise from the others have faded away by the time my vessel Elbira and I stalk up on the stag. We're almost within striking distance when Elbira whispers to me, now that we are finally by ourselves, there's something I have to let you know about Mayor Johannes. I will get that stag. I don't care for court politics. I'm here to hunt a stag, may I be. And I'm sorry to tell you this. Yeah, no time for chit-chat. I want the animal. I increase my intrigue by 1. Very nice. The hunt is drawing to an end. We mount our horses to leave the hills behind as the servants prepare the stag and other game for the journey back. Very nice. We return home reinvigorated. And you know what? We have been without a best friend for some long time. And we have many good friends, don't get me wrong here. But if anybody was, you know, our closest friend, I would definitely say that it is him. Duke Adalberto II of Provence. I will swear, after all this time, after my brother died and I didn't have a best friend in ages, I think we found a new best friend in our soulmate, friend, husband. I think this is the perfect opportunity here. This is truly a blessed communion that we have with our husband right here. Let's hope that he does not use that hook, because, I mean, come on, man. Just don't use the hook. And the realm appears to be quiet, despite, of course, King Asna III, the monster. My god. Ah, that is awful. Despite Asna III, the monster, being known for his death. Yeah, obviously, this is going to leave a difficult impression here as well. Oh, it doesn't account for him being in debt yet. 2 years in debt. There it is. Minus 15. Oh yeah, there it is. I was just blind. 2 years in debt. Minus 15. That is only going to get worse. I don't think he will ever come out of it, but... Yeah, I wish we could actually tell. So clearly, he has 90 dread, which is good to keep the realm stable. Don't get me wrong here, right? But what did he do? Is he torturing people? What is he actually doing? He gained his friend. Oh, he has a lot of friends as well. Amaury, Aîné, and Duchess Belize. Interesting. I'm very curious what exactly he did to get this dread. It wasn't anything that was against the law, or otherwise we would see it in this breakdown. If he had been somebody, for example, that, you know, tortured somebody while he, you know, that would have given him tyranny, I would have seen this here. But I don't think he actually tortured anybody. Maybe he just executed prisoners. You think he just executed the Italians? And look at that. He has another war now. War against the tyranny of King Asna III. Yeah, he's just going to revoke another title there, I suppose. I mean, hey, it makes the realm more stable. Who actually rules in Turin now? This was in his possession. Count Lope Elise of Turin. Oh, that's pretty cool. He gave it to family. I like this. This is really neat. Okay, so our family will now directly hold holdings in Italy. Very nice. And, oh, Alauzia actually is no longer a court physician, but this actually opens us up to take a good look at, you know, first of all, we are, of course, going to recruit another court physician, but second of all, maybe we should even give out more court positions in the first place. Antiquarian, the decay reduction is pretty nice. We sadly only have poor ones. What about a seneschal? Do I need a seneschal? Control growth is nice, but, I mean, we are taking care of that, right? That is where we are active. We could have a court jester. We could have a court jester. Instead, you know what? I will name Philippe my personal champion. Absolutely. I will make him my personal champion. You know, maybe he can gain some confidence in this role. He's quite humble, and he can also definitely become a better fighter while he is in this position. Befriend kindred minds. Look at that. We have become friends with the Archbishop, and while we're at it, why wouldn't we just also become, well, attempt to become friends with King Osorio? After all, we do respect him, he respects us, and he's part of our family. And family means everything. Oh, and look at that. We have started to wear this amazing hat. I absolutely love this. That is such a great hat. You know what? I would think it is fitting, actually, while we are trying to become friends with him, let's just also have a friendly chess game with him. King Osorio, show us what you got. And afterwards, we might emerge as friends. Right, so this works similarly to the duel windows, but it's a bit more complex. We're going to take a look at this. King Osorio takes his seat opposite to me. A little game of chess is about to begin, and a scornful smirk tells me exactly how confident my kinsman is. So I believe that this means that he's going with intrigue, and intrigue, as you can see, is countered by learning. But if you're bad at learning, then you might not want to take this. I will do it. I will counter him here. I know the rules of chess like the back of my hand. Let's see whether it worked. Our match marches on. Osorio continuing with a variety of cunning feints and ploys. Naturally, my techniques cunningly foil my opponent. We're neck and neck, though neither of us is even close to victory. My opponent says nothing, simply drumming his fingers against the table in a fit of pique. I will yet again try to counter it with learning. I believe he's doing another intrigue move here. It has to be said, though, since he's doing intrigue, it's an intrigue challenge against me, and I'm truly awful at it. So I'm pretty sure that he is going to be in the lead soon. A march marches on, Osorio continuing with an obvious trap. Naturally, my techniques cunningly foil my opponent. Right, so we're doing well. I suspect my strategy may need more cunning, murmurs my opponent, eyeing the board frustratedly. Let's continue. Our match marches on. Osorio continuing with several well-executed adaptive strategies. Naturally, my techniques cunningly foil my opponent. I'm beating him handily, and victory is so close I can taste it. You're not actually beating me, you know, crows my opponent. You may think you are, but that is impossible. See, adaptive strategies, I almost want to say this actually is a tip-off for Marshall. But if I need to counter his intrigue, well, you know, I don't have any intrigue. I can't really play that, so I'm going to go ahead and play Marshall myself. Let's go! With a roar of triumph, I surge to my feet, scattering pieces everywhere. This game of chess is mine. Another fine victory of my indisputable rise towards the role of King of Games. A desolate Osorio remains seated, hands on his haunches, trying to comprehend where he went wrong. I'd love to play again sometime. I like this. We could grow friendship, or grow closer to a friendship with him here. I'm not gonna belittle him here. That is so rude. Good game. No, I'm gonna try to become friends with him. That is basically what we're doing anyway. And he took it the wrong way. Can we still become friends? Yes, 99% chance. Well, that is unfortunate, but what can you do? And we got some populists here, huh? Let's hope that they're not going to be strong enough to rebel. This peaceful period is great. She, wants to invite us. Absolutely. I will attend this feast. How could I not? Every guest is gathered in the Great Hall, and our gracious host, Countess Philippa, has welcomed us all to the feast. What started as an ordinary feast became an exceptional one thanks to the presence of Countess Philippa. We spoke all evening about all manner of subjects, and as things would have it, we seemed to have a lot in common. I had such a good time with her. Very, very nice. We grew closer to becoming friends. We aren't quite there yet, but she's one of my vassals. We might immediately start a campaign to befriend her after we do Navarra. Please, do go on. I listen intently to Mayor Tybalt as he carelessly reveals all manner of things. Distracted by trying to get one last drop from his tankard, he's oblivious to how carefully I'm paying attention. Once he realizes, he starts getting up. I'm only rambling, it's not true anyway. Any of it. Mayor Tybalt's non-believer secret. Isn't that interesting? They appear to be a bunch of non-believers, and this is kind of fascinating to me, because the way we can interpret this is that they are basically, maybe, you know, not quite Christian, but rather dedicated to Christianity and the folk traditions. The more this carries on, the deeper this is rooted in our society, the more I might be eventually inclined to, you know, for example, take a look at the Era Zaharak decision. We shall see. It's an interesting thought anyway. Let's return home. It was a great feast, and I have become an eager reveler. Yes, this is exactly how she wants to spend her years. I like this. This turned out perfectly fine. What is this? The lure of language. Ruling the multicultural Duchy of Basconiaco comes with its own set of challenges. Foreign subjects often feel alienated when they cannot speak their native tongue in court, breeding resentment. My marshal, Count Jocelyn, suggested I could significantly improve relations with my Aragonese subjects by learning to speak their language alongside my own. I could try to do that. I could hire a tutor here. I definitely won't hire the tutor just because I'm greedy. Like, I understand that. I gotta tell you, if anybody else had brought this to her attention, she might consider it. But Count Jocelyn? I don't think so. Why bother? Gasconiera is clearly superior. I won't do it. Again, she, you know, this is definitely, there's two sides of the coin here. For one angle, she sees this when it comes to Elizabeth. She says, Elizabeth, you know what? You should be accustomed to what is going on in the southern reaches of our realm. But she herself, she says, nah, listen, you know, I'm good up here. I'm fine. The Basque language is exactly what I need it to be. Now let's take a look at this. We are attending a dance, and this is the event that decides whether we become friends with King Osorio. After learning that King Osorio would be attending the dance in the castle town of Irunia, I decided that it would be the perfect occasion to pass by to ensure I get some face-to-face time with him. The ball was exquisite, and King Osorio put on a fine show. Afterwards, I told him how impressed I was, and we got to talking. By the time I left, it felt as though we had known each other a lifetime already. Very, very nice. Oh my god. Look at this. Isn't that insane? Oh, wait a minute. What the hell happened here? Oh, right. And he does have a claim on France. That is so interesting, Count Pierre. That is so damn interesting. If I didn't know any better, I would say that maybe we should actually attempt to take France for our dynasty. Certainly is interesting. I don't think we can afford it right now to take it. I think they just have too many men. And I don't think that Duchess Elizabeth wants to do it, but it is an interesting thought. Countess Philippa, I would definitely like to be a friend, and this is where we will end this episode. The next episode, I think we might be looking at some interesting string pulling from our side for France. Honestly, I am interested in what she might think about taking France for the family. Because France has been a threat for a long time. Our king, the old king I should say, the sadly deceased King Lope, he has been involved with France and Lotharingia for quite some time, and if we can shut out France, if we can shut out the Carlings right now, it could be beneficial. But then again, how stable would a rule really be by Centuo? By Pierre, I mean. Either way, but look at him. He has also grown up to be quite the strong-looking king right there. Man, I love the way EPE does faces. They look so... This guy just looks like a guy that I might actually know. Well, either way, I will see you later. This is it for this episode, and later, alligator.